Deion Sanders quietly picks his guy. Colorado's QB battle explodes as Ryan Staub forces his way into the spotlight. A turning point in Boulder. Something shifted in Boulder last weekend. The Colorado Buffaloes quarterback competition, which once looked like an open-ended experiment, now seems to have found its answer, even if head coach Deion Sanders refuses to say it out loud. Heading into Week 3, the Buffaloes sit at 1-1, fresh off a 31-7 statement win over Delaware that wasn't just a bounce-back victory. It was a showcase, a revelation, and perhaps the clearest sign yet of where this team is headed under Coach Prime. And at the heart of it all was Ryan Staub, the former third-stringer who seized his moment and refused to give it back. For weeks, fans and analysts alike have been asking the same question. Who is QB1 in Boulder? After Saturday night, the answer seems obvious, even if Sanders is keeping it under wraps. The Salter conundrum: flashes without consistency. Let's start with the man who opened the season as Colorado's starter, Deion Salter. A transfer with dual-threat abilities, Salter came to Boulder with sky-high expectations. Week 1 against Georgia Tech showed both the promise and the problem. On one hand, Salter completed 17 of 28 passes for 159 yards and a touchdown, adding 43 rushing yards and another score on the ground. He made plays, kept Colorado in it, and even had stretches where he looked like the guy. But then came the lapses, missed reads, drives that stalled, and a late-game inability to find a rhythm. Colorado lost 27-20 at home, leaving fans wondering whether Salter had done enough to justify a clear QB1 designation. Sanders, never one to overreact publicly, stuck with Salter for Week 2 against Delaware. And to his credit, Salter started strong. He completed 13 of 16 passes for 102 yards, ran for a 9-yard touchdown, and guided the Buffaloes to an early 10-0 lead. For a while, it looked like stability had arrived. The Staub takeover, a QB seizes his moment. Then came the moment that changed everything. With just 46 seconds left before halftime, third-string quarterback Ryan Staub got the call. What happened next was a 2-minute drill for the ages. Staub looked calm, confident, and completely in control, a rare quality for a young quarterback thrust into a live game. He connected with Joseph Williams for a 31-yard strike, then capped the drive with a perfectly timed 21-yard touchdown pass to DeKalen Taylor, sending the Buffs into halftime with a 17-7 lead and all the momentum. And if anyone thought that was a fluke, Staub silenced those doubts just minutes into the third quarter when he unleashed a 71-yard bomb to Sincere Brown, the longest passing play for Colorado since Shedeur Sanders did it back in 2023. By the time the game ended, Staub had completed 7 of 10 passes for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns, turning what could have been another nail-biter into a comfortable 31-7 win. Deion's poker face. The mind games continue. If you expected Deion Sanders to immediately name Staub the starter after such a performance, think again. On the Romy Bean podcast, Sanders made it clear that he's not about to hand the opposition any free intel. You got to understand now, it's not that simplistic. I know, but why would I give the opposing team an extra edge in preparing for just this? I want them to prepare for all 3 guys. That quote perfectly encapsulates Coach Prime's philosophy. Keep everyone guessing, keep his own team sharp, and make opponents waste time preparing for contingencies that may never materialize. But reading between the lines, the writing is on the wall. Staub is now taking the majority of first-team reps in practice. Sanders may not have made it official, but in football, reps tell the truth. What Staub brings that Colorado needs. The difference Staub brings to this Colorado offense goes beyond stats. He brings poise, he brings preparation, and he brings a level of field vision that's rare for someone with his limited playing experience. Sanders raved about Staub's approach when speaking to Romy Bean. Staub is that kind of guy. Staub attacks every day in practice like he's preparing for the game. Staub turns in the most minutes watched each week preparing for the opposing team. That's just who he's always been. And he's sat there with Shedeur and that staff and that quarterback room, and he understands how he prepared. That last part is telling. Staub had a front row seat to watch how Shedeur Sanders, now with the Cleveland Browns, approached the game. He learned what it takes to be a starting quarterback at the highest level, and he's clearly applying those lessons now. The numbers behind the win. Colorado's offensive production against Delaware was balanced and efficient, a clear sign that this wasn't just one hot-handed quarterback bailing out a struggling team. The Buffs finished with 398 total yards, 131 on the ground, 267 through the air. They forced 2 turnovers, blocked a punt, and capitalized when it mattered most. Delaware actually outgained Colorado in first downs, 21-18, and nearly matched them in total yardage, 396. But they missed a field goal and threw a costly late interception, the kind of mistakes that Colorado avoided. Staub's efficiency was off the charts. His 15.7 yards per attempt mark would lead the nation if sustained over a full season. And while Salter still contributed with his legs, adding 25 rushing yards, it was Staub's downfield aggression that broke the game wide open. Julian Lewis, the forgotten freshman? Lost in the excitement of Staub's breakout is the third member of Colorado's QB room, 5-star freshman Julian Lewis. Lewis saw limited action against Delaware, leading 3 series but failing to score. Still, the experience was valuable, a taste of the speed of the college game that will pay dividends later. For now, though, it's clear that the battle for QB1 has narrowed to 2 men, Salter and Staub. And after week 2, one of them has the momentum squarely in his favor. Looking ahead, the Houston Showdown. Colorado's next test is a big one. A trip to face the undefeated Houston Cougars in their Big 12 opener on September 12th. The Cougars are 2-0 and favored by 5.5 points, boasting a home record that's been nearly airtight, 5 wins in their last 6 games in Texas. Colorado, meanwhile, has struggled mightily on the road, losing 25 of their last 32 conference road games. Statistically, this matchup projects to be a grinder. Both defenses have been stingy early in games, with neither allowing a first-quarter point this season. Houston has also shut out opponents in the third quarter, meaning Colorado's best chances to score might come early or late. Colorado's strength lies in its ability to convert crucial 4th downs, a sign of both confidence and execution. Houston, meanwhile, has a troubling trend of blowing halftime leads in conference play, something that could come back to haunt them if Staub and the Buffs' offense can hang around into the second half. Expert predictions. Can Colorado pull the upset? According to Newsnet 5 analysts, Houston should have just enough firepower to escape with a win, projecting a 24-18 Cougars victory that covers the spread while keeping the total points under 44.5. But this game feels like one of those classic prove-it moments, the kind that can shift the narrative of an entire season. If Staub delivers another performance like he did against Delaware, Colorado could walk out of Houston not just with a win, but with a clear identity heading into the heart of Big 12 play. The verdict. Deion Sanders may not say it publicly, but all signs point to Ryan Staub being Colorado's quarterback going forward. And if he plays the way he did in Week 2, it might just be the decision that saves the Buff season. For Kaidon Salter, the path forward is less clear. He's still a weapon, still capable of making plays, and still likely to see the field. But as of now, the keys to the car may have been handed to Staub, and he's not planning on giving them back. One thing is certain. Boulder has a quarterback controversy no more. It has a quarterback revelation.